Hello, class, and welcome back. This is the video you all have been waiting for. We're going to go through a little bit about talking about social media marketing and look at online marketing, how that operates, the issues addressed with that. And then I'm going to do an overview of what the group project is, and then I'll go into more details of the group project. This is part one of 2 videos. So this will be the first video that kind of sets everything up, gets you the idea of thinking and how you're going to work in a group and brainstorming for the ideas for your group projects. And I'll give an overview. And then in the second video, we get into a little bit more detail about the group project. One of the things I need to make sure that you look at and that you do is to make sure you watch both of these videos. Make sure you've done the readings. If you've done reading chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the e-online marketing textbook, and you've also taken a look at and started working on your Hootsuite chapters, courses, modules in the Hootsuite social media certification. So there's 6 different chapters. They call them chapters, but you can look at it as modules, and that's in the Hootsuite online. So you should have created a Hootsuite account to go to the social media education to start working on those 6 chapters. Last week you should have done chapters 1, 2, and 3 in the Hootsuite, and this week you should be doing 4, 5, and 6 that will then wrap you up. I'm working, and once I receive the code from Hootsuite, then you'll be able to go in and do the certificate to complete that testing of those 6 different chapters, modules in Hootsuite. You'll receive their certificate and email it to me. If I'm not able to get that code in time, they're still working to get it to me. If I'm not able to get it to me, so it's free for you to take the class or the certificate for Hootsuite, then I do have an exam that models and mirrors what you have taken in those 6 chapters in Hootsuite, those 6 modules in Hootsuite. So then you'll just take the exam. The only downside is you just will not have the certificate. So I'm working to do that so you don't have to pay for the certificate. That's what I'm working with Hootsuite now on. So I wanted to kind of wait and make sure all that was okay. I didn't want to start the group project. My plan was to start it about a week ago, but I wanted to hold back to make sure we had everyone online in this course, with everyone set up, able to get into Moodle, and able to look at all the products and look at all the information for the class. And we had some people that were adding and dropping. I want to make sure we had everyone in the class before we started the group project. So that was one of the major areas I wanted to delay before starting the group project. I don't want to have 5 people in the group and then 3 people change out because they've moved around to different classes. So we should be all set after we complete this video and then the second video. And the lecture slides will accompany these videos and posted in Moodle. I will also post them in CAMS, and they'll be posted in the group Outlook folder. Like I mentioned in the first introduction video, there are 3 different areas that you can get information for our class. You can get information in Moodle, on the online platform, learning platform. You can get the information in CAMS, and you can also get the information in the group Outlook folder that I created. About 2 weeks ago, you should have received an email invite to come into the Microsoft Group Outlook 365 group for this class. And so I will post materials there in Moodle and in CAMS. So there's 3 different areas that you should be able to get information from. If all else fails, then of course you can email me, text, or call me, and I'll be sure to help you out and get you to the right sources for information or answer your questions. One other thing I want to ask and let you know, once you get into your groups, and it'll be set up online, I'll send you the email, your groups will be broken down in Moodle. You can work in Moodle within your groups. You can also work in other platforms. This is a social media, online, marketing, website class, so I expect you to be able to use all different types of technology to connect with your group members. Part of with the group project, you're set up with, you will have to complete peer assessments 2 different times during the group project phase. For group project 1 phase and group project 2 phase, you're going to have to complete a peer assessment evaluation where you will evaluate each of your peers in the group and how they contributed to the work environment and how they contributed to completing the projects. This will go toward each of their individual grades. So for example, you do the first group project, you get a group grade, and then based on those peer assessment evaluations that I receive from each person, that they evaluate everyone in their group, they'll send it to me confidentially, I'll take a look at them. And if I see some consistent issues of someone not participating in the group, giving all the efforts, and I see it consistently across rated by all of their peers, that person could have their grade lowered several points. So in other words, if the group got an A on the group grade, but they have someone that consistently did not participate in the group project based upon the peer assessment or other evaluations I received, that person's grade could go down to a B, C, or lower. So it's important that everyone work together in group projects. I know group projects can be stressful, particularly for online class, but hopefully this tool will help push people to make sure that they all stay and they all participate in this group project in the online class. So right now I'm going to go through social media. The other part is, one other caveat I want to make, is once you get into your groups, if you have one of your peers, one of your students, one of the students in the group say, I don't understand what we're supposed to do. The first question I want you to ask them, several questions. Have you done the readings? Have you done the readings in chapters 1, 2, 3 in the eMarketing Online textbook? Have you watched all 3 of the videos for the course? The intro video, this video, and the next video I'll post. Have you reviewed all the lecture slides? Have you completed your Hootsuite chapter modules in the Hootsuite social media certification course? If it's yes to all of those and they still don't understand and have some questions, then we can address it. If it's no, then I kindly ask you to refer them to making sure they complete all of the assigned work before they start again asking questions, because that's why it may be confusing if you haven't done all the readings and you haven't watched the lecture slides and you haven't listened and watched the video. It's important that you do these. That's why I've given you extra time to make sure you complete all of the readings and the Hootsuite course modules before getting into this group project. All right, so let's dive right in. Here we're going to talk about social media marketing. We all understand social media. We participate in it in some form or fashion. We're in it, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or what have you, Snapchat. We're there, we're on it. Part of this class is it is about social media and website development, but developing it from a marketing communications perspective. So this is what we're going to look at today, understanding customers, understanding how to grow a field of followers or people or products, how to activate a public, how to market something, whether you're marketing yourself, marketing your organization that you're working for, marketing a business. That's what we're going to look at today. How are you going to promote it, the branding behind it? What tools are the best tools to use in social media and online? So we're going to go through the video. We're going to talk later about some of the deliverables, meaning some of the requirements due from the group project. I'm going to talk to you about some of the requirements due for the individual project, those things that you have to work on to complete for the assignments for the course. Some of these are listed here now, and I'll go into more detail shortly here about the group project and also in the next video. And I'll also talk about the individual assignments that are due in this course. Coming up, one of the first individual assignments that you should be preparing for is to make sure, you complete your Hootsuite social media course, and I'll provide that code to you for the certification exam or a midterm exam, either one. That's coming up shortly. So we're going to talk about digital. What is digital? What is it? What was it before and what is it now? Of course, once upon a time, digital meant sitting in a room with all of these various tapes, and people had to go and put them in and put the information in. That was what we considered digital. It was basically just the TV, radio, and print. That's what we looked at for digital prior to the website and internet becoming of age. So they would actually have rooms and rooms of tapes of information, and that's where people go, almost a library catalog. Today we look at it a different way. We're more connected. We're connected with various devices during the digital age. It's from the MacBook, it's from the iPad, the iPhone, laptops, everything you can think of, cell phones. We have all those different technologies, different experiences, different parts of media all reaching out to you. As a marketing person, as a communications person, you're trying to reach this new group of people who have grown up with nothing but this technology, getting hit with information and messages all the time. So you need to be able to set up communication for your company, for your organization that drives people to where you want them to go, what you want them to do on the website. And then you want a behavior change, whether it's from education, information, purchasing, buying. What is it that you want them to do? What experience do you want them to have? That's what we're going to try to get you to understand here in dealing with digital. The mass media is designed in so many ways that you have issues dealing with getting attraction from TV, from commercials. You're getting hit from radio ads. You're getting hit on the online. You go on the internet and you got the pop-up ads going onto your social media platforms. You're getting hit in so many different ways. But other thing that's changing also with television, people are unplugging from the cable and from the local channels, but you also now have so many platforms to watch your own shows. So you have segmented audiences, people who just watch Netflix all the time, people who just watch Amazon Prime. So you need to be able to figure out ways to reach your customers, reach the people you want to reach with information and in the right source in the right way. So in theory, this means that we want to find ways that we can do it. In a lot of ways, you're doing it for your company. You want to get the most out of it, good return on investment, but at the lowest cost possible. A good way of doing that is through social media. So One of the things we need to understand with social media, with any avenue or anything that we do, is that communication, even on social media, is a two-way process. And oftentimes individuals think we just post and we move on. No, you need to engage with your audience, engage with your customers, whether it's liking, sharing, posting comments to their pages, finding out who they're following. Those are the things that you have to do. That's how Starbucks elicited over 150,000 ideas and generated millions of dollars in new product sales by engaging with their customers through social media. Didn't cost a whole lot of money, but it reaped a whole lot of benefits because it's a two-way communication. You know, with now this digital age, you're unlimited based upon the creativity of you and your opportunity that you can do to get your message out. So when you begin to get in your groups, you want you to be creative and think outside the box to make the right opportunity to get the attention from the people that you want, the groups, the audiences, the publics that you want. You can do that through so many mediums, and that's what we're going to show here. So the other part is, again, there's an abundance of choices, scarce, and we have very little. Our attention span now, more than ever, we're distracted in so many different ways because there's so many places for people to get information. Just like with this Skittles that we have listed as a person, they can go in a magazine, they can go to a website, they can get a pop-up on social media channel. You have something in the store when you go in. Now they have it set up where on your phones, as soon as you get close to a particular store or Starbucks, you automatically start getting ads that are showing up. So you're getting hit in so many different ways that sometimes people just want to shut off. But then oftentimes, if you want to reach those people, you have to go through and have them on different channels and different platforms. So that's what we're going to look at in this group. So our mission, your mission in this group is finding out what's working in marketing and finding out what people want and putting those two together to get them to have a behavior change. And that behavior change could be the way they think about you, your reputation, what they want to buy from you, or what you want them to understand and learn. Those are the behavior changes that we look for in communications, marketing, and public relations. Some other things that are coming out now, the possibilities are limitless. You know, they got refrigerator with Wi-Fi, and now your refrigerator can tell you when you're running out of milk and when you're running out of condiments and foods for your refrigerators. It can tell you. It can also have your social media on there. It can actually, they're having it set up now where it can just automatically purchase and have food delivered to your home. Your refrigerator is ordering and having the food delivered for you on set intervals. So there's so much now that limitless possibilities. You know, what now and what could happen in the next few years? If you have a digital toaster that can print out today's weather forecast on your toast, it's possible. Think outside the box when you start looking at how you're going to do your group project. One of the things we talk about is this is how Twitter started. It was Twitter, and it started with just a small group. Same thing with Facebook, just starting on a college campus. So anything is possible. Begin to think. That's the good thing about social media, that in the digital world you can create, measure, learn. You can ultimately create more that you want for yourself. It's just iterating how you want it to be and being persistent with it. So one of the things we want to look at in this process is you create your type, share the information. We want you to get feedback and then refine your product. So when we go through your taking over the social media challenge, each group will have a week where they take over the class social media pages, the Twitter, the Facebook, and Instagram. When you do that, throughout that week, that group should be updating their messages, seeing what works, refining it, getting feedback from people who are liking and sharing your information to see if it's working. See if you're developing relationships. This is something you have to continuously do in social media and online. You just can't be stale and put something out there and hope that it'll work for you. You have to keep working to get feedback dealing with your digital strategy. So with digital strategy, you're looking at social media, you're looking at e-commerce, e-books, mobile apps. You want to make sure you have everything set up for you that works well and you're monitoring it and getting feedback from the information that you put up there. Once you've planned it and developed it and you start implementing it, if you're not monitoring it, then you're not seeing what's working so you can make changes to it. That's what you're going to need to be able to do. So part of the digital strategy is listening and responding to your consumers, bridging the experiences that they're talking about with what you're trying to offer them, collecting information, developing relationships with them, and establishing measurable objectives, which we'll talk about when you begin to develop your social media plan. One of the things with a digital strategist, which that's what you'll be doing here in this class, you will be the digital strategist. You will be strategizing and coming up with the creative plans for you, is you're responsible for inspiring the digital creativity. You're inspiring coming up with the ideas and how you want to put it on your platform for social media and for the web online. So you want to bring all your information together, that digital creativity. You want to have the oversight and making sure that your campaign is working and you're developing it appropriately for you. So that digital creativity needs to be inspiring, and you have to understand who your audience is and who you're talking to and the brand and the business that you want them to have and that behavior change you want them to have and what technology you want to use. And that's what we want you to work with. Social media is a fast-moving channel. One of the things you have to understand is the best thing to do is to start with what is the foundation of your success? What are you actually wanting to happen? What is your ultimate goal? What is your ultimate objective for your product, for your social media? If you've taken other classes with me before, and maybe in other communications classes, you've seen this before, where the transaction communication model. It's the same principle here as it is in your public speaking class, or in class at gender communication, crisis communication, strategic communication. You need to understand that, and this is a two-way process, it's not just one-way linear. It's the sender, you, the receiver, your audience, and then you have all of this noise and barriers of information that you're trying to get to the people, all of that's blocking your message to get to them. You have to figure out the right channels, the right way of delivering your message to get to the receiver. Remember, they're getting bombarded with all kinds of information. You have to figure out the right channel, the right medium, whether it's a social media, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, your web page. You have to monitor that feedback to adjust your message to make sure it gets to them. You have to understand an individual's frame of reference. The frame of reference is basically what makes up who we are. Our culture, our background, how we were raised, how we perceive information. Everybody has their frame of reference of life, of how they view the world. We are in groups, and based on our demographics or the way we think and purchase, that also looks at our frame of reference. So when you're selling a product or you're marketing something, you want to make sure that you understand the groups that you're trying to reach and what message they will receive. And remember, you have all that noise and barriers of interference that you have to get through to make sure your message is received the way it should be. So with digital marketing, what is digital marketing? Digital marketing is creating and satisfying a demand for a product. We're using it through the power of the internet. We're throwing it through social media. That's what digital marketing is all about. You want to make sure you understand the environment. It's a business. Understand the customers. Understand your competitors. What this group project is going to be about is going to be about who you are. It's going to be about where you are. It's about Paul Quinn College. We're going to set it up to 6 different groups. You're going to be marketing your school. You're going to be marketing certain products about your school. The ideal is that each one of you, in some ways, will be a recruiter, recruiting people to understand, improve the reputation and branding of the things that are happening at Paul Quinn. Some of that, your goal objective may just be for alumni, reaching out to alumni to inform them of the things that are happening that are great about Paul Quinn. Or you might be reaching a high school student who's interested in maybe coming to Paul Quinn and showing the things that we're doing here. We're going to break it up in that. So you're going to have to understand that environment that you're reaching. And that is part of it. The idea is, the business of this is that you're looking at either recruiting or retaining students or graduating students, or you're looking at your alumni in the community and helping them understand more about Paul Quinn. And you're going to do that connecting it through social media and through the internet to gain that value from them. In marketing, taking other marketing classes, you've always heard about the 4 Ps. Understanding the product and the services, that's the first P. Understanding the price, you're looking at the prices. You're looking at the placement and distribution, and then how you're going to promote it. Those are always the typical 4 Ps of marketing to help you understand the structure and components of branding. But also there's a new P. There's another P now, which is really 5 Ps, and that's people. Really understanding how to connect the people in the digital world. What is the perspective of your consumers through the digital world? That's what you're going to be working on. So part of the competitive industry that we will be dealing with for this class, but you have to understanding in all contexts, but in this class, we'll be dealing with the competitive industry of college and recruiting and retaining and graduating students. That's what our power is. That's what our product is. Bringing a student in, graduating them, retaining them, graduating them, and then keeping them connected through as alumni. And then the other part is just a branding reputation of the school that and more so enhances the value of the degree that you will eventually receive from here. So we need to understand the power of our suppliers, which are how do we get individuals to come here, the power of the customers that are coming in here, what are the threats to the environment, what are the substitute products, and what is the competitiveness, what is the industry, who are our competition. The other part I want you to understand is that while we're doing this, you need to be aware of the information that you're putting out there. Consider the right objects, consider the products that you're trying to place. Consider what you're going to post on social media and how you're going to design it. Evaluate the effectiveness of it, because what you ultimately want to do is have someone buy your product, build the brand loyalty, build a bond towards you, and then you want them to advocate for you. Word of mouth is the best thing for marketing. WOM, word of mouth. That's what we want you to have. So as we look at this, when you're building the pyramid, the brand pyramid, understanding the attributes of your product, how you function, the benefits, the emotional benefits that person can have toward their product, the emotional benefits you have toward Paul Quinn, how you felt about making that decision to come here, how do you feel about coming here, and then that's how you want to provide that to the customers, having the emotional benefits, that brand connection to them and to you and to the product here. The other part, and this is out of the reading, so I'm not going to go into detail, but I want you to understand the TCEO model of think, create, engage, and then optimize. You want to think about your strategic approach to how you're going to, or your starting point approach on how you're going to do your product. And you want to create the products that you're going to place on there, engage, and then optimize, and then continuously improving, delivering information by watching and analyzing how it's working through analytics, data mining, how people are sharing and liking and converting. Part of social media is you want to get the buy-in, you want to listen and update, you want to analyze, want to make sure we set objectives, create the action plan, implement, then track, analyze, and optimize your approach that you've done in the digital world. So these are just some products that people use in order to monitor their social media, if it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I'm going to provide some for you that I want you to use for this class. There's some of that is pulled from the readings. You'll take a look at the different terms that are out there in the reading, find out exactly the terminology so you know what to do and what to place in there. This is all part of the reading. So let me give you an overview of the group project. There's 6 different groups that you're going to work in. You'll work in one of these groups this semester. We have 25 students in the class. So depending on your group, it's going to be 4 to 5 people in your group. The first group is going to focus on academics, the majors, what we offer in the different programs, how you're going to promote that to someone else. If you are trying to talk to someone else about Paul Quinn and the academic programs and how they offer them, you know, the biology program, the religion program, the communications program, education program, that group is going to focus on that. The second group is going to focus on athletics and sports here at PQC with the basketball program or in the soccer program. Talk to the athletic department, how they would want you to promote different things in the athletics in that program. The third group is going to look at the work program. It's a very unique program that's happening here at Paul Quinn. It's different than what most schools are doing. It's the urban model college. Talk about that. That's going to be your area to show how the work program helps, the benefits of the work program. In that, you also may find some areas in all of these groups that you feel that are not working as well. This will be your way to engage with the leadership of those organizations and see how you can better promote it or even have a change effect. The fourth group is going to focus on civic engagement, entrepreneurship, and leadership based on the Center for Civic Engagement, Entrepreneurship, and Leadership at PQC. The fifth group is going to look at alumni and community outreach. We're trying to do so many different things with community outreach and with our alumni. That's where you're going to focus your efforts. And then the last group is going to be on student activities, student organizations, promoting the different organizations and activities that take place here at PQC throughout the year. And all of this, in all 6 of these groups and sections, when you develop your plan, it's about you promoting in a positive way PQC. You are the one promoting the brand. It's going to be through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and through the web page you'll develop on WordPress for your group. I have created, I'm going to open it up to you shortly, a Twitter page, a Facebook page, and an Instagram page for this class. Then each group will create a WordPress word page. You will develop your social media plan based upon what content you're going to post to those sites during the week that you take over the sites. Each group will have a week where they take over the class social media, and then that's where you're going to focus in on. But I want you to focus in all the groups when you start to do this creative activity and start putting your plan together with the creativity and thinking through the marketing of it. Always focus on student retention. Always focus on recruitment. Always focus on graduation. And then remember, in everything you do that we're going to post and write about and have published on the social media sites and on your WordPress group page, all connected to the 4 L's of Paul Quinn College. Leave a place better than you found them. Leave from wherever you are. Live a life that matters. Love something greater than yourself. And remember, in all things, it's going to be about we over me. This is a positive experience that I want you to have and go through to promote your PQC. So the deliverables, in the next video I get into a little bit more details on the deliverables for the group project. But an overview, just so you have this information, each group will have to complete the social media outline plan, which I'm going to go through in the next video. That will be due by midnight on Sunday, March 5th. Each group will also have to write up a posting schedule and complete a daily posting schedule for each of the 3 platforms of social media. So you have 7 days. So each group will have 7 consistent days, 7 days where they'll have to take over our class social media. And on those 7 days, they'll have to post at least once on Instagram, once on our Facebook page, and once on our Twitter page. So for each of those, you should have 3 daily posting schedules for each of the 7 days, so 21 total. So you'll have the 1-page outline social media plan, and you'll have 21 posting schedule forms completed, 3 for each day that you have to take over each of the social media accounts. So you'll have, so say for instance, day 1, you have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you should have a posting schedule for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for day 1. So that's 3 forms. And then you times it by 7, so you should have 21. So that's what you will turn in on March 5th. You'll turn in the social media outline form. You'll turn in the daily posting schedule. And then you'll create and start working on your individual WordPress web page, your group WordPress web page for your group project. This is the form that we'll talk about in the next video. This is the social media plan form that each group will create and complete in the next week to 2 weeks, and then in the next 2 weeks, and then turn it in by March 5th. And we'll go through the details of this social media plan. Again, this is basically a 1-page plan. You can expand it a little bit more. If you need more, you can make a second. You can use a second or third page. But primarily, this is the plan. This is the outline. Oftentimes, you work in a social media, and you'll have people that'll develop a social media or a marketing plan, and it's 30 or 40 pages long. I've learned over time that the best way to get some action and to get everyone on the same page is to keep it short and simple. This is a plan that can keep it short and simple. 1-2 pages at best as a plan. Everybody can look at it, and they know exactly where you're working from. So we'll go through the details of each of these blocks of how to fill it out in the next video, but this would be the deliverable of your social media plan as a group by midnight on Sunday, March 5th. Again, you'll also turn in 21 of these forms at a minimum as a group. 7 for Facebook, 7 for Instagram, 7 for Twitter, and it'll show the days that your group is posting and taking over the social media accounts for our class. And then last, also due on March 4th, is you would create your WordPress web page. You go out there as a group and create it based on your topic that you will be promoting in your group class. The individual assignment that's part of this group project is the peer assessment. This is the form. This first one will be due also on March 4th. So you'll go through this in the next 2 weeks, working with your group to create your social media plan, create your posting daily schedule forms, complete all 21 of those. So then you submit that together. One person will submit it to me for each group. We'll talk about that later, how you get your groups together. And you'll submit that to me. Then each person individually in that group will send me a peer assessment evaluation form. You do not share it with anyone else in the class or any other students. You complete the form, you send it to me, and then that completes group project 1 and all of that's due by March 4th. So in the next video, I'll go through in more detail of how to work out your group social media plan and your group projects, more about what group project 1 phase will entail, and then also what you'll do in phase 2. Again, if you have not completed the readings for chapters 1, 2, 3, 4 in the e-marketing essentials guide, the online textbook for this class, make sure you do that. If you have not started on your Hootsuite certification, going through the 6 chapters modules in the social media education modules, then you're behind the curve. You should already be on 4, 5, and 6 and finishing that up this week. So if you finish all that up, you should be able to focus on the group project for the next 2 weeks. That's the idea behind giving you time to get up to speed on the reading, getting into Hootsuite, so then you can now take your focus and work as a group and focus on completing the phase 1 of this group project. So in the next video, that's what I'll talk about, and I'll see you later. Thank you.